Shout out to everybody, guys. It's London with Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike. This is home of the VIP and Basecamp. We are a trade group. Welcome. We're going to go through the price action. I just let out a video a little bit ago, just got a little bit of traction here in terms of this line of support that looks like it's picking up. I'm a former financial professional. This is not financial advice. You guys go get that with your broker. I'm sure that you're beating your broker. That's the whole idea, right? So as we would look at this, let's clean up the chart just a little bit. Was working with some lines here, and let me get a copy of this. We want to say hello, first of all, to our top contributor, to the king of VIP, which would be Angel Matos on top. Hope you're doing well, Angel. In terms of this year, we have a lot of goals. We're going to talk about this specific pickup line here. We just identified it. It was a nice to see the market react at this level rather than some of the lower levels that it could have picked up on. So I wanted to come to you live a little bit earlier than normal, but just in terms of this specific pickup, we're seeing a nice pattern. I want to identify the pattern for you, and I do want to say hello to Angel, our top contributor. Has been in Bitcoin since $7.79. One of the literal market leaders, guys. You just don't find any way around it. One of the top traders in the world, okay? I'm going to say that, in the world, without a doubt, in terms of picking up on Bitcoin at $7.79. Let's dig into the details just a bit here, and if you could shout out in the comments and give me a like on the like button, that will let me know who is in the room. That will also let me know as you guys stream in. It'll let me know essentially who has just joined. We're going to talk about this specific pattern again. I let you guys know in this framework of this video, previously in this video, just released within the last 2 hours, the framework that anyone who was trying to short was up against. This is, I'm just going to tell you guys, it's been a tight market. This is a good move for the bulls. If we can recapture this territory up in here, it'll be along the line of, originally my hopes were to try and formulate some sort of a bull flag in this area. You guys know that was my original take on the matter. I wanted to see if we could formulate some sort of a bull flag, okay? In lieu thereof, what we're attempting to, I'm going to say this, in terms of a projection, in terms of what the market traders are currently in the framework of looking at or trying to build, let's discuss another pattern that no one else is discussing right now, okay? And I had let the VIP know a while back in terms of the top line expression here. Boom, boom. Now, it's going to cut through, let me just say, this pattern is going to potentially cut through this key level of resistance, okay? This cross resistance that was identified multiple days ago. Just a strong hit on that line of resistance. We identified that. I did for you guys. Hope that helped out. And in terms of let's just say the structure framework of what we're looking at, yes, I wanted to let you know about that cross trend line because the price action is going to need to get up and above that for us to complete this pattern. Now, this is a specific pattern that I'm going to show you. It essentially has a variable top, so I want you to pay attention to what I'm drawing right now on my screen. If you guys are in Basecamp or VIP, please pay attention. I don't think you'll find more accurate technicals on this specific issue that I'm about to go over. So if you could please just pay attention and assure me that you're doing that, that would be great. Okay, as we would look at this double top formation on the 4 hourly, right? We would say essentially we have a double top formation on the 4 hourly, very close to a flat top here as well in terms of trying to find a projected flat top line of resistance. Most people would just see a double top and walk away. We're not in that group. What we want to see is a flat top resistance reinforced by an ascending line of support. That is the definition of an ascending triangle. That would be a phenomenal move to see Bitcoin incorporate. Currently up 1% since the restart just an hour and a half ago. $38,093 under that $40,000 threshold. That $40,000 threshold, yes, it is a very clear level of resistance. You'll see the prior hits along here, particularly if we go to the candle work. Let's go to the candles here. In terms of these prior hits of resistance along that 40,000, kind of the secondary, we can be a little bit mobile with this, a little bit of flexibility in terms of finding that perfect flat top that we're looking for of resistance. That 40,000, while it serves as I'd say a frustrator or a line of resistance or an area of resistance, that zone, that line, it's literally, just to line it out for you, it's going to be 40,342. Right at that 40,300 is that key level to get up and over. There's a secondary level just below it at 39,500. That 39,500 is a key area as well. One indicated on the 4 hourly lines, the other indicated on the candle work across the time frame. So the higher time frame, essentially that 40,000, okay, is going to be indicated across the time frames on the candle wicks, okay, on the lines, and you'll find variability across the time frames, but on the lines you have this indicated in around that 39,000, just say 39,005. So what do we have here? We have Pablo Rivera Ganem. Hey, Pablo, how are you? We would welcome you to join our specific base camp. At least become a part of the community. That would be great for you to join us. We're looking forward to a good 2022. If you trade, that's the one thing you need to want to beat the market. Also, our VIP level, top level of membership. Appreciate you just shouting out and saying hello. Thank you. Slam the like button as well. Let's go through the. I say this is a complicated pattern right now, to the extent that we want to just review real quickly, okay, what we were discussing in the stream was the likelihood of a pickup and the frustration of anyone who was trying to short. And in terms of that short, let's just go through what would people have been shorting. Essentially, the specific, let's go to the candle wicks on the 30-minute time frame. Let's go into, we could go into something like this. We could carry this down a bit more. We could go into a few different variations here within the right shoulder capacity. If we wanted to carry this down and bring this over, looking at this specific head and shoulders pattern, looks like we're trajecting back up into that specific neckline. So we need symmetrical, okay, essentially a symmetrical, I'd say a symmetrical amplitude between the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and the head. You guys know it's real simple in terms of the construction. They say it just looks like shoulders, right, and then a head formation. You need the amplitude to be higher on the head. They will, I say, traders will still consider if there's an equilibrium amongst the three amplitudes, okay? So always consider that as well in a generalized framework, okay? At that point, you're looking more at a range trade rather than a pure head and shoulders, okay, in terms of the technicals. So, yes, we had the head and shoulders. I denoted in the video, just definitely told you in the video, we were looking at this specific move that I was sure people were in the process of shorting. Right, they were in the process of shorting that, and I wanted to get the video out honestly, because to the extent that people were trying to short in that specific time frame or with that specific move, let's just say that, and as quickly as you guys were moving on your trades within that time frame, we're just going to talk about the pickup level. Let me kind of move these lines up, and let me move this line down just to take a look at this specific pickup level that I identified in this specific video. Okay, this is where buyers were likely to step in and had hitched along this level, and indeed the buyers have gained some traction. It's just it's a real simple level. Glad I brought it to you. Shout out to the VIP, to the base campers, etc. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Took a little bit of time off in terms of the streaming, etc. Spent some time with VIP in the back, and we just want to shout out to Richard. He's back. Nice to have you back, Richard. William Carter, what's up, William? Nice to have you, brother. Nice to have you, bro. What's going on? Let me say welcome to William Carter. We have just a great group. We're really excited about this incoming year in terms of what all it means for VIP and Basecamp, and we just appreciate you guys being here. William, I want to hear about a trade, brother. What's going on? Let's. What are you trading? I'm going to put that. What are you trading, William? And there we go. Boom. I'm going to put that in the chats because I want to see if there's any base campers that are making some headway on your trades. If so, we'd like to feature maybe some of your trades. I want to talk about who you guys are. Maybe not so much about who I am this year. I'm a former financial professional, et cetera, et cetera. Educated at Duke and Harvard Business School, all the great stuff. But I want to hear what you guys are learning, how you guys are conquering the market. That's really important to me. And I think it's important to Angel as well. As you look at, as you know, Angel invested in Bitcoin since $7.79, guys. So we could discuss him, we could discuss me, but I think it'd be great to hear from some of you, like William, etc. What are you trading? How is your technical analysis going? Have you purchased the book John J. Murphy, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets? And that'd be a question that I would have for not only William, but anyone who's in the base camp, anyone who is looking to up their trade game. That is the guide. That is the New York Institute of Finance published book in terms of their authorities, and you can gauge that on your own. I just do know people that have been heavily involved in the industry and trading, etc. Number one guys on the street arguably the world, guys, who know the framework of Murphy, who know the framework of New York Institute of Finance. It's just a big deal. It's not complicated. It's not like an accounting book. It's nothing boring. You'll see the same patterns. You'll see the same framework that is put before us right here in terms of the head and shoulder, in terms of a leading diagonal. It's that guide. And it's not, when I say New York Institute of Finance, people might think it's an accounting book. No, it goes through all the patterns. That's the idea, guys. But it's the New York Institute of Finance that was founded by the New York Stock Exchange, okay, in 1922. New York Stock Exchange is $30 trillion plus market cap. They know price action. They've been around since 1790. They're going to let you guys know the ins and outs of your head and shoulders, okay, pattern. They're going to discuss how it was also frameworked and studied by the Federal Reserve. They're going to bring some credibility to your game as you look at the patterns. It's not just another idea you find on YouTube. It's the real deal. So back up, a rebound, 1.46%. Nice price action. For those who are trading, this is the type of market that you want to trade in. I tell you, not just to necessarily hold. So, yeah, we'd love to hear about it, and I appreciate you shouting out, William. Thank you very much for shouting out. And let me go ahead and put that in there. Just William, that makes you a champ, brother. I appreciate that. It's not everybody who wants to. I don't know. People may be a little intimidated or otherwise, but hey, it's just us. I think that about Angel sometimes. It's like, well, he's been invested in Bitcoin since $7.79. It may seem, he's got whale status, this and that, but guys, he's a real guy. He's a cool dude. You guys, maybe you don't know that, but I know that for a matter of fact. So shout out to Angel. I think he's got some family things going on. Maybe he can take a break from that family. I don't know what all they're doing, but maybe you can take a break from that family. Angel, we miss you, brother. And as we just happy you're feeling better. Hopefully you're feeling better. As we look at this, I hit along this line of prior resistance here, up 1.53%. Nice rebound, 38,273, 38,000. They're at about that 38,300. We'd like to push back up to that 40 level as we look back in terms of formulating that ascending triangle. I'll go over the measurement techniques were we to be able to really refeature a very bearish pattern. You guys need to look. This leading diagonal is a bearish pattern. Very, very bearish pattern. We've got up and over, and we're pushing this line of resistance, which is that cross resistance. Very glad that I brought it to you guys. If you have put this, just listen, guys. Please listen. If you put this cross trend line on your desktop when I brought this video, if you put it on your desktop when I brought you this video on your own trade station, on your own trading view, etc., I'm going to tell you had 3 or 4 clear trades along that line. Okay, so it was a very important line to discuss, a very important thing for you guys to incorporate on your computer. Just throw it on your trade station. Support, resistance to attempted support, failure to resistance to attempted support, failure to resistance. There were so many hits along this line. So I was glad to have been able to bring that to you ahead of time. But the point is to watch is to keep an eye on your trades, not necessarily just keep an eye on the market. If you're working on getting towards some larger targets that you have, or some more important targets, then I understand that. But the number of, it doesn't stop you from trading a bit, right? Look at this hit. 1, 2, 3, really 3, 4, 5, 6. You had, multiple trades. We dig into the lower time frames. It's just going to become even more evident if we just, knock that off for a second in terms of that head and shoulders. Look at the number of hits you had along that level of resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits along that level of resistance. Those are all trades. So if you're trying to get into the framework of, you may be in a different camp. Some of you may be learning in terms of, let's just do this. I just want to lay this out because this is impressive. Let's look at this here. Some of you may be learning. Some of you may be seasoned trade, maybe even professionals. We have a big professional crowd that's not to be dismissed at all. We've had a lot of seasoned veterans from exchanges to former BlackRock, JP Morgan, probably any exchange you can think of in terms of that, not to just solo them out or single them out, but looking at the number of times that we hit into this level of resistance, guys, this is what trading is all about. This is it right here. Let's just lay this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Look at the number of times you came into contact with that specific line, and this is on a candle wick, kind of a flash up to that level. 1, 2, 3, Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times you operated in terms of that line of resistance, that cross trend line. So when I bring you a new dynamic in terms of something that I say that, and sometimes I'll be speaking quickly when I cut the videos, just so you know, when I cut the videos for YouTube, and my pup may be coming out here in a second. It may be a little bit louder. But when I cut those YouTube videos, understand I have to get these within, like, if I can get it compressed within 3 to 5 minutes, that's my goal every time. So I have to scream through the information as quickly as I can. But just understand, try and listen when I say you want to incorporate this into your trade station. I want to make sure you have this line to work with, etc. This prior support, resistance to failed support to resistance. That's one. And there are multiple hits in here, guys. Looking at this, how many times this line has been tested, it's just been tried and true, guys. It's one of the most established lines, 10, 20 hits at least, guys, as you look at that specific line of cross trend line. And again, what is the cross trend line? It's any trend line that expresses itself from a support feature to a resistance feature. That designates it as a cross trend line. Okay, CROSS trend line. That's just it. Support. As soon as it gets resistance, boom, cross trend line. That's it. And while you're trying to formulate that, while you're experiencing resistance from prior support, it's in the process of formulating or process of solidifying this specific line as a cross trend line. So it's something that develops, and as it develops and maintains itself, it just becomes more probable that the market is really going to respect it in line with this number of hits, guys. That's really, really impressive. So I'm glad that I was able to bring that to you. And again, what you do with it is up to you. Are you shorting? Are you longing? Are you flash trading? Are you working on 10x, 50x, 100x? How are you trading? That's kind of up to you. We'll attempt to maybe enhance that part of your trade game in 2022 for those who are interested. And that's just it doesn't go without saying, but I do want to say that I have that on the map in terms of 2022. It's not difficult, and I don't want to go too far down that road because options, leverage, things like that can get a little out of hand if you are overexposed, and that's a lot of people get real aggressive. I'll tell you, get real aggressive on their expectations of what they want to make. They do the math and calculations. They want to make all the money, and it turns into a difficult equation. I'll just tell you that. Just the exchanges essentially make sure of that sometimes. As we would look at this, let's just reframe now and smash the like button if you're just getting in. I'd appreciate that. This specific head and shoulders brought this in the specific prior update here, and with the caveat that we had an interrupting prior resistance. Again, cross trend line here, resistance hits down into support. So we have accomplished that. And the interesting, I guess, feature of this right now, if I draw into, let's go to the 30-minute, and that was on that expanding leading diagonal. You guys see that multiple hits along this level of resistance flipped into a level of support. Okay, cross trend line, prior leading diagonal, leading wedge, expanding wedge, however you guys would like to frame that. There are a few different definitions thereof or nomenclatures that they may use. Now, in terms of let's just designate these specific pivots as the apexes for, or the pivots for this neckline as part of this specific head and shoulders. I want to do that particularly so that we can see the interaction between the price right now in an attempt to get back and above that neckline and a rejection. Okay, attempt to get back up and above this neckline with a rejection. Okay, this rejection thus far isn't a significant one yet, but as we dig into it, we will continue to watch. You can see there a little bit on that 5-minute time frame, a little bit clearer rejection. But after an incredible, I'd say an incredible rebound, given the alternative could have been just lower prices. So yes, the market did respect that level of prior resistance, to flip that into support, and that's just fantastic. As we would look at this bull pennant feature, right? We have a nice move to the upside, amplitude move to the upside with a consolidation. Every bull pennant is going to be, essentially, guys, is going to be a move to the upside and then a symmetrical consolidation. Okay, real important as you look at the requirements for the bull pennant. You're going to have a move to the upside and a symmetrical consolidation and you're going to want to just bam straight through the top. We prefer to get a confirmation across the top, but as we look at this, we prefer to get a confirmation across the prior resistance to flip into support. On pennants, you may not always get them. The price is more aggressive on a bull pennant. You may not always get a confirmation, okay, along a prior resistance to flip into support. Just to note that, guys, just to let you know, you may not always get that on a bull pennant. The price action is aggressive enough that that specific confirmation turning the prior resistance, and by that I mean a hit that would come out, turn the prior resistance here, what it could not get up and above, to support, and bam, move to the upside on a bull pennant, which this is. Nice move to the upside with this consolidation. Okay, you may not get that specific confirmation on a bull pennant. So work that into your toolbox, into your toolkit, your vocabulary, and your understanding of TA, that you may not get that confirmation on something that's moving very aggressively, like on a bull pennant feature, which is just a micro pennant feature that we have here. So let's see. Yeah, that's a nice move, though. I just really think that is a great move. We've stopped right at that neckline, okay, in terms of this preceding deal. And I wanted to bring that specific video. May not seem like much, but I knew that people could be in a potential short from this head and shoulders, and I just wanted to bring this line up because I just saw it, given the fact that we're dealing with cross trend lines, right, as we're dealing with this specific prior resistance here of the leading diagonal. I just thought, well, if VIP or Basecamp are in a move right now, I want to make sure that they know that this is a potential stumbling block for anyone who's in a short. It's potentially a move that could cost you some money. So I wanted to make sure and bring that to you, given the fact that we were experiencing some positive pricing and rebound in line with that. I just wanted to make sure that I streamed even for just a bit to bring it to the top VIP and base campers. And I know it's about dinner time on a Sunday, so I will tell you that I understand this at dinner time on Sunday. I think that the family needs to win. If you guys are still plugged into the market, it's like, yeah, maybe you ate later. That was just me. I ate early. So in terms of that, just we will I would just let you know why I'm streaming, essentially just to bring you this positive price action, just to kind of reframe for the week. We had a really great week, guys, with the designation of this specific I'd say cross trend line here that is just marked on the map now, with the pickup again that we were alive was very nice. That pickup, and you guys don't even really need to ask, right? What was the low target on the 4 hourly? You'll see the low target of the market. That was ours. This purple line has been for a long time, since well above that specific lower target, lower than the 50%. And you guys will know the 50% because essentially that's just what we hit recently. We were streaming live during this target pickup here. So 35% from our low potential, okay, 35% potential to the max, 35%. Okay, that was very nice recently me telling people just to get a position in this area and around that 37,000, just get a position. Just get something, right? We were at a different line of support. I told people, if you want to sell at support, be my guest. Let me know how that works out. Otherwise, you're on support. You're supposed to buy at support, sell at resistance, right? Not being coy at all. Just, it is a market principle. Buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, and hit your targets. Right, and never be overexposed in any higher price or in any trade. So looking at this specific feature, my goal is to do this. And if you're on standby waiting for a specific trade to develop and you didn't catch that, let's talk about maybe what you would want to put in the framework of kind of what you're looking at. We have a few different options, and we'll go through that. First, that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll take those specific hits off of the line of resistance. Just huge success there in terms of that specific formation. Unfortunately, here along the top, you guys know too, we had that specific, was it a fan formation? Just we've been dealing with and let me just comment on this, guys, in terms of like fan formations, procedures, things like that. Sometimes Bitcoin has some patterning that you're not used to. You're like, what is this? It's curving, it's rounding, it just doesn't look normal. We will fit in the structure of what we like to do a lot, we'll turn it into a bull flag. We'll make it a bull pennant. We'll make it something we understand better. But in line with these curvatures, we can still respect a bull flag within the notion, let's say this bull flag across the top. We were live for this, pushing for this bull flag without a doubt, but still understanding that we had this other process going on behind the scenes, right? As we would look at just the flag formation there on top. just be aware. What I like about the fan procedure essentially is the following, guys. It lines out in your mind mentally, it scopes out extraordinarily well any line of support that's broken, right? Because you're trying to go up. Like in a reversal pattern of fan, you're trying to maintain positive price action to the upside, right? I mean, ultimately, you don't want to break any line of support. That's the idea. So a fan process, any kind of a fan feature like this is going to literally it's going to mentally frame you around the fact that there are levels of support that are being broken. All right, so it just measure your understanding of what a fan is in line with that. There are levels of support that are being broken, boom, to the downside. So it's just really, really important if we were to look at, and this was an interesting area here just to discuss a little bit as we would talk about the ascending triangle in this region. Okay, it was also accompanied by another fan, okay, another rounding. You see the rounding, it's like it was Bitcoin. Bitcoin does this all the time. What is this? It's another fan in process. As we would look at this, let's go to the 5 minute just to remind ourselves a little bit. And I just want to share this with you because it's something that comes to fruition frequently, and it's just we see it all the time. Okay, so in terms of this specific formation, you'll just say, we would have the same commentary, similar commentary in terms of this, and we could lay this out exactly the way it was when we had it. We were really discussing it. I spend more time on the charts a little bit. These aren't always easy to lay out in 2 or 3 seconds, but that's about as clean as we need to make it. But what you're having with a fan procedure that's going to reverse to the upside in line with an ascending triangle here, and I will not omit that. Okay, I won't leave that out because we definitely focus on the primary patterns as well, i.e., ascending triangle here, right? So, but in line with a reversal here, it is good for you if you're looking for a reversal to the upside to continually line out, bam, as the price is developing, as you're looking towards getting into a trade, lining out a level of resistance that's broken instead of the levels of support that are broken to the downside, right? Levels of resistance that are being broken as you work and chop your way back to the upside, okay? So a reversal to the upside, you're going to need to break levels of resistance, okay? To the downside, you're going to need to break levels of support. Okay, so that's the framework that this is put into. And as you see Bitcoin, the undeniable price action, you cannot get past it. And you'll see it in your other coins, guys. In terms of just the rounding events, is like Bitcoin loves to do this. If you look at the previous price action, it's known for doing that. So we are ahead of the game, and I'm glad that you guys are ahead of the game with us in terms of understanding what that actually is. Up 1.45%, 38,244. Okay, so we're retesting that neckline right now. Such a great thing to see, huh? I'm excited about bulls stepping back in. So let's reframe this just a bit. Let's get into this. You guys, if you're just stepping into the stream, I appreciate you being here, and you can let me know that you're here by a like or a comment would be great. And let's see. I know a lot of people, for some reason, have family in town. I know Angel chatted me up last night. He's like, he's got family in town. He pocket dialed me. I know, Angel, if you're listening or not, but he pocket dialed me. He's like, with his, I don't know, he's with some family. I'm like, anyway, I'll talk to you later or whatever it is, but it was funny. So, Angel, hope you're doing well with your family, everything else, and I hope you're having a good time. Hope everybody is. It's a good time to kind of be freshen up with family, et cetera, and having those kind of post-holiday get-togethers and all that good stuff. So what we're going to be looking for here is, honestly, bulls, we're going to be looking for a retest of this specific line. We interacted with it a lot. It's going to be a big statement if we can reject the entirety of this specific head and shoulders. It's going to be a big statement for the bulls. So we're looking forward towards that. There is so much uncertainty right now in the markets, guys. Just be prepared for a bit more uncertainty in terms of the next news flash could set the markets on fire to the upside or downside. Please understand that with the Ukrainian-Russian situation, and I try and stay as apolitical as possible in terms of my overall dialogue here. Generally, I'm just going to do that in terms of the situation. I will not use this as a soapbox for anything like that. I want to focus on crypto to the extent that what we're doing is beating the market and anyone involved. That's what I want to be known for. So that this is not my soapbox time. I'll just reinforce that it's my TA time 100%. And anyone who wants to know my personal opinions on the matter has already asked and already knows it. So that's real simply put. So as we would look at this specific formation as well, there is a chance that the market is now, and not really a chance, it's just a fact, looking at an inverse head and shoulders, since the bulls seem to have failed this thus far. Thus far, they seem to fail this. I still don't like holding on to this specific level of resistance. I'm going to tell you this resistance as support. To the extent that we're back up and above these moving averages, that will help me a little bit, because both of these are heading downward on the 30-minute, for instance. I need this to head back up. It's important for me that these head back up. And, hey, we got Aaron in the house. What's up? Yeah, hey, London, Angel, and VIP and base campers. What is up, Aaron? What is up, bro? Hey. What's up, Aaron? Let me go ahead and write down in here. Nice to see you. Welcome back, my man. Welcome back, my man. Boom. Base camp in the house. What's up? Hope you guys have been paying attention to the levels. And Aaron, you're back, base camp, etc. Just went through some fan procedures, but I want to discuss. Let me rewind through here, and these levels of this specific. As we look at this, the specific hits that we had along this specific trend line were just huge. These are all trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right in this specific zone. And I let them know, Aaron. I know you're new in base camp. To the extent that I speak quickly on these, I have like 4 or 5 minutes to get these out. So I gotta hammer through these. We can slow down a little bit in live streams, but just listen and watch what I'm putting on the board in terms of this. Make sure that you're dialed into it on your great to be back. Yo, what's up, Aaron? Nice to see you. But just make sure that you have like that cross trend line. If I'm going over a specific trend line or a specific feature on your chart, just make sure you incorporate it into your specific your trade setup. Support, resistance, failed support, resistance, attempted support, failed support, and back into a good resistance hit. So, and let me see what we got with Desmond in the house. I think we might be headed back down to complete that other shoulder, then a nice uptrend after. Nice word. Nice word. I like that. Very well put there, Desmond. I like that interpretation quite well. And you know exactly where I'm headed. Desmond's got his eye on the ball, without a doubt. And that right shoulder, what he's talking about, is this, and we'll just dig into that. I just wanted to show Aaron, since he's just back in with us here, the number of hits we had along that resistance line. Just huge. You guys just pay attention. Just throw it on your screen. If you want to, you can make it real light, go with a real light background and make it dotted and say, okay, that's London's line. These are all my lines. Give me some space on your computer. I think you'll find it worthwhile in terms of what you guys decide to draw out. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a big deal in terms of having lined that out. Retesting this neckline is also a big deal from this specified prior area of resistance, this trend line coming down to just nice action. We just give it to the bulls. Buyers were there. Buyers are in the market right now. So that is, if you're a buyer, you're in the market, you're on the right side. If you're a bear, you're waiting or shorting, you're on the wrong side. That's the way this played out as of right here. Desmond saying he thinks we're going down lower. I appreciate that input very much in terms of just completing out that right shoulder. What he is discussing is, and we'll discuss the framework of this maybe a bit more later, but this support and this resistance in terms of that leading diagonal, that leading expanding diagonal, what Desmond is now discussing, since the bulls may have failed their process here, since they may have failed, Desmond is coming into it with a bit of a notion that since the bears would have failed. Did I just say bulls? You tell me. I don't even know. I was busy grabbing 2 or 3 components on TradingView. Since let's redo that for the record. I was just distracted. Sometimes that happens. Since the bears, okay, bears, this is a bearish pattern on the top. It's a reversal pattern, guys, as we're looking at this. And to say it's completely out of the woods, Desmond may be right, okay, in terms of this heading back down right now. But we are confirming off of that level of, and it may be a natural confirmation. I'll be interested to know your position on this, Desmond. Do you think it's just a natural reconfirmation across a line of prior support? Is that the way you would take this? It's open to a little bit of interpretation. It wouldn't be a bad interpretation just to say, no, that's just a move back up to, and that could be aggressive. to the downside. As you would look at this, bears looking at a short to the downside with an interruption of a prior resistance, right, to a temporary support. We highlighted that temporary support in here so you wouldn't get stuck into a short that reversed on you real quickly. A lot of people just got into a short here and had this reverse on them. Bam, straight back to this prior level of support to reconfirm that. So the bears who are shorting right now, they have essentially, to the extent they may have failed this, we'll look at what the bulls will be trying to do right now, and that was stated correctly. So I have too many screens here sometimes, so I wind up talking in three different directions at the same time. Let's look at this real quickly. Now, in terms of the specified patterning formation here, Desmond is talking about, and I don't disagree at all, the framework that would be necessary to put in play an inverse head and shoulders of this magnitude would be big. We're going to have to cross through the threshold, and Desmond, you can look at this as well. We may need to cross that 41,600 irrespective. As you look at that neckline, okay, it's going to be just the inverse, right? The left shoulder head, the right shoulder. It's going to be the inverse, okay, head and shoulders with that. And, you know, it's to the extent that the right shoulder would need to be filled out more, you know, I think it's acceptable now. The traders may want to complete the specified head and shoulders, the bearish pattern, to the downside, and we have talked just briefly about that in terms of what the overall projection is to the downside, the measurement, the target for the for those in a short. So. But a difficult place to pick up a short, right? And I know that you just know how many people were just potentially blindsided by that move. Glad we brought this to you. If you guys don't have those notifications on, make sure you have notifications on. If you're in a trade, make sure you just watch the video real quickly. It cannot hurt, guys. And in terms of just letting you know, yep, there's a hurdle right here. This line of resistance, just the hurdle, and once it started to develop, it's like I need to come live because it's a pretty strong move by the market. It just was very clearly expressed. So this would be the inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder head, right shoulder. That would be expressive of a nice move up. We'll just give that some. We'll give that a little bit of measurement to the extent that we could crawl up this wall. Essentially, in terms of this right shoulder formation, would require a little bit of work. Okay, it's going to require a little bit of work to just say, well, no problem, we'll be back at $46,000 tomorrow. We'll see you at $46,000 tomorrow. All right, so it's going to take a little bit of work. You guys know that. We're going to have to get up through, particularly this cross trend line is going to be I'd say the ultimate feature. We're going to need to get up and above that cross trend line, the dotted line. And we can look at the 4 hourly just to remind ourselves one more time. It's the most important line right now in the retracement. It's been respected more than any other line here. Support, resistance, failed, and attempted support to resistance. The little bit of deviation away from the line here with a failed and attempted support down to another hit of resistance. So it is the line. I don't know what other lines people may be looking at. There are a lot of trend lines. We've picked up on quite a few as we've gone through and traded throughout the last several weeks. We've been very, very proactive in bringing you guys a new trend line. Like that's part of it. Like buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, and hit your targets. Real straight forward framework. If you're waiting for a trade, well, is there upcoming support? Is there upcoming resistance? Right? Is there a pattern in play? Do I have any targets on the map? Right? Just real easy framework to start hunting down your next trade. And we're just big fans on trading Bitcoin. It's just it is the way to go. It has some phenomenal returns, and it will carry heavy cash, which is nice. It'll carry a heavy cash position, and you won't have problems with liquidity and other things that may ensnare you a little bit on some of your altcoins or other coins. So we've been fans of a lot of different coins. So that's not a big problem here. We like the crypto space and all the variety it brings with it. Okay, so let's just see. That is essentially the inverse head and shoulders that we'd love to see play out. That would be phenomenal. We would just like to see that very much. And I tried to do this the other day. We did try and bring this over the other day into this framework, and let's just see how this wanted to work itself out. The problem with this was essentially the low, as we would talk about this, the low left shoulder here. This low left shoulder, we just felt that was too low in terms of, just going around and looking for patterns. It's to the extent that one is, it doesn't conform to the standard technicals, you can still explore it within, what are the disqualifications? Why won't this work? And a lot of times you will learn more about the market and the patterning in terms of what the current mood is of the market, or what your requirements are as a trader to profit in this or any market, as you will refer back to a specific pattern, maybe that something doesn't really conform to, maybe there's a defect here or there in what you're trying to do. It's just important, guys. We would like to see if there's any, as we would try and refeature up through this right shoulder to get us up and above this line of resistance. The market, the entirety of the market right now, is trying to figure out, what are we trying to formulate here? What is this top line formation that is essentially now, and we'll go through, if we just dismiss with the entirety of the idea of this head and shoulders, just at least momentarily for purposes of discussion. What is this top line formation? Okay, we would like a square and feature like a nice settled, like really perfected bull flag. What's wrong with the bull flag? Can't we just have one of those, right? A really nice one. I mean, we had one back here. You guys know this essentially had some bull flag characteristics, but really, since the last really nice bull flag, you guys will remember, we have to go back into, I remember this because I shot the video and was just like really quickly getting it to everybody. I'm like, I got to get it to everybody. This little feature right in here was a decent little bull flag. Bam, and it really got up and went quickly. And you can see the expression of it as a bull flag. Move to the upside, consolidation to the downside. Depending upon the exact time frame you're on, you'll have some variability in terms of that patterning. That was in around that December 20th to December 20th exactly. And that just had a nice, you just see the skyrocket movement, boom, to the upside. Then thereafter, we caught into another bull flag type formation there. And it's just that was like a double sequence, depending upon the time frames that you were at. It's like, can't we just get back into a few bull flags? It was nice. That's when the market was really looking interesting for a lot of people. We were excited about it, and it's like, well, maybe we got a few bull flags. We started a trend, and it just went its typical standard Elliott 1, 2, 3, 4, and a frustrated 5 back down below those moving averages. That 100 in the orange and that 200 in the purple, right? Just been really difficult levels to conquer throughout the entirety of this. As we look at either the hourly, we can go to the 4 hourly. The 100 and the 200 are really good guides as you look at your at the framework of when are you buying, when are you selling. It's when are you longing, when are you shorting. It's just those specific 100 and 200 are extremely important. There are many other, but those are the most important right now that I can find on the map. I've done a lot of research on that, guys. So to the extent that we're currently trying to formulate some sort of a bull flag feature or something that we can not dismiss as just kind of ambiguous, that we would want to say, no, this is a good feature. This is something we want to really target up. We'd spend a little time with it, of course, but we would like a nice move to the upside followed by some patterning. We had that in this area. If you guys will just see, we had a kind of a micro pennant in this area. Always be careful of micro moves. If you see any kind of a micro consideration or a micro patterning, be careful of that. Okay, a lot of times Bitcoin will kind of give you the signal or the indication it's in a pattern, and will want to just get you in this area here on a breakout trade, and bam, you take it, and then it wants to reconsider how large it wants to make its patterning. So we are very aware of that here. Please be aware of that in your own trade game. We want to make sure that you guys are operating with the best technicals, and just waiting for larger pattern formations is a really good idea in the market. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You get caught up in the micro moves, and sometimes they just don't want to move. They will restructure themselves and get you in it. Sometimes they'll just get you in a trade and stick you there for a while when you weren't really planning on that, and it doesn't work out as planned. And that micro to macro consideration a lot of times will make a difference. Just look for those. The larger the pattern, the larger the expected move. You guys understand that? So in terms of the specified, we're just going to get into a lot of different, there's a lot of different frameworks here as we look at, and this has been happening. This is 2022. It's been happening just really throughout the entirety of the retrace the last 100+ days. It's just, show me a pattern, then show me a different pattern on another time frame. We've had that opportunity just incessantly. So it's a lot of work between the time frames. You guys know. Let's look at this this specific. Let's see, line of support is interesting right now on the candle wicks. Bringing this down, it looks like we capitulated beyond there, beyond. So we've got a little bit of an expanding wedge type formation, unless we want to expanding wedge type formation on the lines of the 30-minute, though. Barely, huh? You guys see the lines of the 30-minute, just a real open, you know, to the extent that there's a bearish feature here within, it's going to be, and Desmond, maybe you already looked at this, potentially, as we would look at this type of a wedge formation, with the expectation of operating back up in the entirety of this specified broadening wedge here. Let's look at this. Let me get my specific polyline out. But this is not; these are not known to be bullish by design. If they were bullish by design, we wouldn't have, we wouldn't have such respect for a bull flag. I just tell you. So the ideal circumstance that we would look at would be a bull flag, just a nice channel that's cutting against, that's sloped downward. It's going to cut against the move to the upside. We need a strong move to the upside, right? The strong move to the upside, and then a channel formation, channel that's sloping downward. That's the definition of something that bulls get excited about, guys. These now the expanding wedge within the context may not be a necessarily bad formation. Okay, this expanding wedge within the context needn't be something to really concern us too much, because essentially what we're looking at is that right shoulder in formation. So and that doesn't just go without saying. That's important that we state that. We covered it previously, and to the extent that something along these lines does want to surface, then that's rock and roll, guys. That's 2020 going in the right direction. That's what we're talking about. That would be nice. That is not bad. So the crux of it is we move this a bit to the side here. The inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay, left shoulder, head, right shoulder is going to depend upon how strongly this wedge picks up. How many wedges have you guys traded that pick up that strongly? It's going to have to be a move. I'll tell you that. It's really going to have to be a move, or it's going to take a little time to maybe work around, because that wedges, some of the strongest wedges you'll see are in a real bullish pattern, part of a bull run. The stronger wedges, you'll get into something. You'll see some sort of even part of a nice move up instead of kind of an alternative to a like a flag or a flag or a or a pennant, or even maybe some sort of symmetrical consolidation, something. But you'll get into something that sometimes you'll go back and you'll say, okay, and you'll notice. Normally, you'll notice it after the fact. When you see it as part of a bull run, it even causes some problems because they're so well known for formulating double tops. Okay, rare is the case. I say probably. What do you guys think? 1 out of 10. Maybe 1 out of 10. If you're really on a strong bull run, maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 on a really strong bull run. Part of a like a continuation pattern to the upside, right? Part of a real strong move to the upside. We'll see a falling wedge, which is what this is. And look at the angle of it right now compared to the kind of a perfected angle of what we would expect to see, what we'd like to see, right? This is the formation. Essentially, this is about the angle that we would prefer to see, not quite so steeply trajected, but there's different options in terms of interpretations or what can get us out of something that's this steep. Again, inverse head and shoulders, buyers really stepping in along with that cross trend line of resistance to a support hit. That's a key feature here. We had a bearish pattern, if you guys will remember, and I'll just swing back over here for 1 second. Let me get off that. In terms of this 50% pickup, we were in a bearish pattern. We were remarking it's quite a moment for Bitcoin, because we were at that 50% down here and we were in a bearish pattern. Supposed to just blast through it, technically speaking, but the 50% picked up. Okay, so that it can turn into a bit of a, you can have contraindications with an understanding as to the overall, let's say, prominence of a level like the macro 50% retracement. Beat a bearish pattern. That's noted, in the context thereof, and that's about how the framework of the analysis that you would do in terms of the trade application, etc. I know you guys know that. In terms of the support resistance, so we're in at the top of a bearish feature here on a wedge that's not really optimal, not part of a bullish bullet run here necessarily, guys. We're not with that said, let's analyze it. Let's look at it. We do have a heck of a move to the upside, right? So we can say not really part of a perfected bull feature, etc. We could even let's start to play with the wedge a little bit. If I'm looking for a perfected, maybe more of a perfect, I want less of an angle. Let me tell you, I don't want my wedges to be too far like this. The more I get a wedge like this, it ceases to really be a wedge. It's really it would turn into more of a seller's climax than it would any type of a falling wedge formation. It would be categorized differently, right? So in terms of that, yeah, we do have, and this is what we're going to get into right now. Is this part of the bull run right here? Have we just hit the 50% for the second time, and are we up and ready to get out of this thing in terms of the level or past this level of resistance and up and beyond this 50% retracement, and let's get going, right? That's essentially on the map right now. Okay, because we had such a strong move from the 50% retracement with the chaos, the turmoil in the markets by the Russia-Ukrainian situation. We really poured down. We really trajected back up. In line with the expectations of repeating this move to the upside. We can't dismiss that. So I'll leave that open for let me just say this. I don't want to categorically state that this is part of a bull run. It's a move to the upside, a real strong move to the upside, with some really chaotic, really severely chaotic market conditions. Some really out of the ordinary market conditions that the overall entirety of institutional Wall Street, from sophisticated investors like you, from me to et cetera, haven't dealt with Russia invasion of a neighboring country quite like this, guys. World on standby, with arms, et cetera. Just, those are the facts. I'm not going to get into it beyond that, but this is a little bit different. Bitcoin on the map, even in terms of worldwide, funds going here, going there, going. There's some different parameters in terms of the overall market right now. Yes, there have been market situations previously here too. Oh, you didn't see I was still alive. That's not good. I'm sorry about that, Richard, brother. I'm not excited about that. I had put that in the back room. Richard is VIP in the house. What's going on, Richard? Nice to see you, brother. And let me see if I put live stream. Yeah, I did put that in the yeah, I see that you saw that now. So glad that you were able to dig into that DM chat. That's where I just put that right when I did start. I'll let you know ahead of time next time that I'm going to start. We're just talking about the classical framework of the essentially what I would like to see in the form of a falling wedge that could continue. That I would have a real expectation, a strong expectation of continuing to the upside. Boom. Essentially one that's part of a bull run. Now, in terms of this move, we're just having a discussion right now as to whether or not this move from the 50, it's a huge, huge move. It's a really strong move in terms of velocity, etc. Joined the stream as quickly as I could. Hey, welcome, Richard. Welcome, VIP in the house, in the house. Richard is really, really just kind of the I'm going to say, guys, top shelf for 2022. He has his goals lined out. I'm confident that he's going to meet goals in line with his ability to interact with the market. He's a really smart guy, and I just appreciate having you in the VIP. I cannot wait to see how your goals work out for 2022, and it's a pleasure to have you in the back. I'm really excited about that. Richard, we're going to try and help with those goals as much as we can in 2022. It's going to be awesome, and we're looking forward to that without a doubt. It's just going to be good. So, and they're not low dollar goals. If they are, let's work on any low dollar goals and keep them within reason. But when I see somebody who has reasonable goals, I love it. I'm like, that's something that definitely can be done. Can be done. And I like to challenge people ahead in terms of, because I've worked with a lot of traders, to you see Josh in the bottom right, $1 million champ, just to see kind of where in the framework, things can take you once you decide to take on the challenge, once you're open to that in terms of the possibilities. I put Josh up to the $1 million challenge, just so you guys know. He's like, well, he's a $1 million champ. I put him up to the $1 million challenge. Okay, so I challenged him to do that. And sometimes that challenge can really be something that's beneficial. And it's just interesting how the right opportunities sometimes find their way to certain individuals, like they did with Josh. So, Richard, we're looking forward to 2022 being a great year. Not everyone knows that story on Josh. Got to look for some trades today. I want to start working towards my goal. Boom. That's it. Day by day, my man. That is excellent. You're going to get that. I can't wait to see. And the picture is, it's these key moments. I got to tell you, Richard, the key moments where you're sitting on a 50%, on the macro, just a key moment sitting on the 50%. Boom, again, 1, 2. This one's 35%, ready to double down to that lower level, right? This one for 15%. That's a good 30 days, particularly if there's any kind of slight leverage involved at all. And we can talk about all of that to the extent that's too risky or otherwise. But it was the pickup at the 38.2, right? That slam down pickup of Bitcoin to the 38.2, when everyone's like, oh my gosh, where it's going to the 38.2. Boom, right there. So it's those pickups. And that's what makes the difference as you look long term, is the ability to wait out a bit. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose the trend. You don't want to. You don't want to lose the price action if something's going somewhere. You don't want to just be left behind. But you'll see once it goes somewhere, right? Once it gets there, it's gonna want to come back. I'm just gonna tell you, once it gets to where it's going, and you'll understand when it starts going as well. Don't just the level of patience that I can encourage you to have. I just couldn't state that more strongly. Just a great level of patience in terms of trading. A lot of times that's the key determinative factor that I see with people. They're able to be patient and really discerning. And on top of that, if you can be really reasonable in terms of your expectations, you just want to make 10% this trade. Hey, you don't necessarily want to make the $1 million. This it needs to be $1 million. I want to make it $5 million. You can do real well with an approach that you really want to capitalize on the next 10%, on the next 8%, on the next 6%, on the next 15%, on the next 45%. There we go. Right? Whatever it may be, but as those returns compound in, I just really encourage you to frame your mind around that, just that next trade, book that next trade, and just be dedicated enough to be. I guess what we say is just have the diligence to be patient, and if you can really work in your understanding of the market, it's just going to take some time too. If you're unsure about something, nothing is making you trade. All right. If there's too much uncertainty in the market, nothing is making you trade. And when you discuss, I say with this, when you talk about, like for instance, if we were to just kind of frame this around like a falling wedge feature. Now I know you're here. A shout out to all the VIP. Very important to have you here. Is this just a return to function? We talk about that with Luke. He picked up on one last night. He flipped around an ascending wedge. He says, hey, wait, London, this looks just like a return to feature. Is that what we're experiencing right here as we talk about the wedge feature? Finding these types of moves are not easy. They're not easy. And I don't know. You're going to do well, man. I know 2022 has your name all over it. It just does. It's got Richard Rio all over it. Just without a doubt, it's just I know you're going to do well. I can't wait to see. I'm just excited. The end of the year is going to be. It's going to tell a good tale about you. So it's going to be cool, and I'm excited to have you in VIP. We're looking forward to seeing what all you turn into. You may become more active in the VIP. Like Luke goes through periods of times where he's really active. He's honing his game, his skills, his charts, etc. You may choose to do some more of that. Like start bringing us more charts. What are you looking at? That'll help in the overall context. Like what's on your frame plate there? What are you looking at in terms of your overall charts? What's your next move? What are you waiting for? Right? What have you determined? What have you researched? I look forward to hearing information like that, seeing information like that from you and how you develop this year. And let's see, as we wait for this, since Richard has tuned in, Richard, I'll just say as a favor, maybe almost to you, because I don't want to go back through all the entirety of what's going on right now. But if you did not watch the beginning of the stream, I would just like you to watch it. Okay, so it's got some good stuff in it, and so that you don't have to go through this, essentially this framework and that framework. I will, and to the extent that you can share those. I know that your time is limited as well, but I just look forward to seeing how you develop in terms of 2022, and it may be with more VIP involvement. That may be a good springboard for you to develop your game. I've seen Luke do that. He's really, really upped his game. Richard, he really has. He understands the markets better. I mean, we can go find bull flags, okay, and that's part of it. Can you get to that level? Let's go find bull flags. But finding the different nuances really being plugged in, Luke has really gotten more involved in the back, and it's incredible to watch him interact and chart and discuss the technicals. He's got it. So real tight framework here in terms of what's been expressed. If you look at this on the 5 minute before I let you go, last thing I wanted to kind of cover here was this specific real tight line here, this line of resistance. Okay, line of support, bam. This is a little bit of a steeper wedge here than the others we have discussed. Variable lines within the understanding that we would like to see at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of takeoff up from here, not just a single. Let me say this, after this nice bull pennant feature here, okay, we would like to see some get up and go here, right? We have this nice move to the upside with a symmetrical consolidation. We would expect to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not just a 1, 2, 3, and no further move. That would cause maybe some concern in terms of where we might be headed. But I'd like to see a fulfillment of the move. Ideally, can we set the right shoulder on this left shoulder head and right shoulder inverse head and shoulders? That would be ideal. And since you've shown up, Richard, and I appreciate it, I just want to let you know I'm going to let everybody go. Let you roll back to the beginning of the stream so I don't take up all your time. I want to help you reach your goals this year. And as we would look at base camp and VIP, Richard is a guy that has some real financial goals in the market this year. If you guys want us to help you get them, join VIP, and we'll help you through them just like we're helping Richard through them right now. So you guys go get them. Excited that I brought this specific video quickly. Make sure you have all those notifications on. And in terms of that, I'll just say that, this specific line was in play then. Just stay tuned and always keep those notifications on. Prior resistance to support, bam, the move to the upside. Buyers have stepped in. That's reassuring, and glad I brought it because that head and shoulders pattern, this was an interrupter to a downside short target. So it looks like it certainly has interrupted for the time being, and I'll let Richard now go. If you guys didn't see the beginning of the stream, go back and watch it, guys. It's a good one, and it's a pleasure to bring you TA, Top Shelf TA. I'm a former financial professional, but this is not financial advice. You guys go to your broker if you need it. But, hey, I don't think Angel goes to his broker. That's a good thing. He's been in Bitcoin since 779, and I think I'm off on the chart. So you guys go get him. This is London. Thanks so much for watching, and be careful of this specific, or be aware of this specific line here, this more deeply put together or say framed. Just throw this on your desktop if you're watching, or on your handheld, whatever it is. Throw this specific wedge on your desktop or on your charts. Just in terms of the framework here, I think this is one of the strongest frameworks that we can put together there for the immediate time being. And you're looking at, just until you get there in the stream, Richard, you're looking at a potential confirmation off of a prior level of support. Okay, so that's a that interplay right here between this level of support and that kickback, and the notion that you would just have an aggregated, essentially a real cut short, no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even back to this line of resistance would be the most troubling notion to the bulls. I'll be in the back, and I'll be letting you guys know with updates to the charts in terms of where we're at and what kind of the next hurdle is. We need to retrace and get back up into this. We need to gain some momentum back up into these moving averages, okay? We'll talk to you soon. They look like they're about to cross. Not too crazy about that. I like this move from the line of support. So I'll be in the back and be giving the VIP some updates. And guys, go get them. Trade. Even base campers, I want to know what's your next trade. Never be overexposed at a higher price or any other, let's say in any single position. Always be ready to compound into your position, bringing the game like that. And if you guys book some cool trades, I would be very happy very happy to feature some of the base campers trades that is all about what's going on. There you go. Yeah, you guys go watch the stream. This is London. Hope you guys have a great